Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Cash and Biko, taking place here on Northern Isle. Cash has spawned as the blue orc on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Biko spawning as the yellow undead on the top right. Let's go ahead, get to that 2-minute mark of this game, and we'll see how all of this unfolds. Thank you, Metaphysics. Hope you have a great day too, as we are looking at a Farseer going up against a Death Knight. No real big surprises here. Game underway. Death Knight now ready to clear out some creep camps. Go after this. Well, no, not going after the No Warden. He sold his Scroll of Town Portal and is now going to try and clear out this Ogre Magi creep camp. An Acolyte is trailing along behind, and he will most likely be summoning up a Ziggurat. Now, a strong play there, just trying to be able to set up that expansion, and just keeping the Ziggurat before it upgrades to a Nerubian Tower is still nice. Now that Death Knight is absorbing quite a bit of damage, and right now is just based all on timing right now. Who's going to be able to get that last hit, and the Death Knight with the surround on all of those ghouls and those skeleton minions able to get the job done. New Ziggurat now being placed down to try and replace the other one that most likely will get cancelled. There it goes. Here's a new one again. Death Knight gets a Death Coil to heal up one of those ghouls. And, well, it does not look good for Biko. Biko has already used up a lot of his mana. He did get to level 2. Oh, and picked up a Ring of Regeneration. That will definitely help him out here. You're going to see him, while on Blight, regenerating a lot more hit points than you would expect. On top of that, he has that Unholy Aura, but it cannot take all of that damage that he is currently absorbing. Alright, Death Knight currently sitting at 122 hit points, and, well, just regenerating generating hit points as best he can. Another Headhunter about to get taken down. We could see a Death Coil hit. No, not even needed, as another Ziggurat about to get shut down. Alright, 2 out of 3 Ziggurats have been cancelled. Farseer could end up getting surrounded, and this is going to be very bad news indeed. Death Knight gonna force the Farseer to retreat back out. Spirit Wolves, will they be able to shut down this Ziggurat? It looks like one of the two ended up getting within that Scroll of Town Portal radius, and because of that, well, the Ziggurat will end up being completed. It looked like that Farseer was trying to pull away with the wolf in order to set it up. However, it does not get set up. The Ziggurat is completed. It will be repaired while the haunting of the gold mine has begun. Alright, meanwhile, a fresh round of ghouls. Where is it running off to? Perhaps are they going to try and summon up a graveyard here? No real reason to have that many ghouls out and about, especially when you are currently low on lumber. More ghouls perhaps going to try and get trained up. Nope, not quite yet. Ghouls purposely going to go ahead and get another surround. So this was actually all within the plan of Biko. Biko purposely trying to get in a large number of ghouls to stop the continuing onslaught of pressure. Now, Acolyte, well, this Nerubian Tower still getting still getting repaired. This one ghoul gonna try and retreat all the way back home. Is it gonna be able to do exactly that? No, the wolf is gonna be able to get in the necessary damage to finish it off. Meanwhile, Farseer, Headhunters, Death Knight trying to find another, well, Headhunter who was not with the rest of the group, gets surrounded. This is very much a divide and conquer type of strategy, as the Great Hall is nearly at tier 2. Cash has the tech advantage. He's trying to use that range advantage on the Headhunters over those ghouls, but you can just see this go wide strategy. So many ghouls out here on the battlefield, and if one Headhunter turns around to just try and throw a spear, or even if he doesn't throw a spear, he'll just instantaneously get taken out by his by all of these units. Now you can see low hit point ghouls, perhaps that one is going to be removed, and this is just textbook play coming in from Biko right now, trying to ensure that he has enough units to swarm, and any low hit point unit is backed up, sent back home, as we're going to have nearly full saturation on this gold mine now, getting up another necropolis, and now waiting perhaps to try and tech to tier 2 eventually. Low hit point. Oh wow, there is still no ghouls on the graveyard. Excuse me, no ghouls on the lumber line, and perhaps that's the reason why he went for another necropolis, as lumber is going to be a bit of an issue. If he did do that, that was a great strategy and great plan, as Cash is also, well, limited on real estate. Cash has been sitting at tier 2 for a while, but has only gotten an Altar of Storms training up a Tauren Chieftain to show for his tech advantage. Bestiary now getting placed down again, and these ghouls and skeletal minions have just constantly been taking down buildings as they should be, to try and delay that tech advantage. Meanwhile, tech now turning online for Biko himself, and with that tech coming online, and also having that economic advantage, what is Cash supposed to do? Oh, alright, well, sorry, a Null Brute being able to finish off a Ghoul while, well, Biko's Death Knight had maximum hit points. A little bit of a lapse in concentration there. Headhunter, Farseer, Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain does not have Endurance Aura, so the Death Knight is not really in danger of getting surrounded, even with that 1 second stun right now from that Tauren Chieftain, or is it 2? It's much lower just because there's a Death Knight, Death Coil, one more attack, it does finish it, there's the stun. Death Knight, is he going to be able to break free down to 14 hit points? Ooh! Oh my goodness, Cash. Catching Biko trying to do a bit too much. Perhaps he definitely got overconfident with his strong play early. And Cash, yeah, the Tauren Chieftain, that stun, looked like it was going to be strong enough, but no. Cash, not going to be strong enough, but no, instead Biko kind of walked into that. Just he just kind of walked into an unfriendly situation, and now may be having another unfriendly situation if he's not careful. Alright, Rune Bracers, a beautiful item pickup for the Orc army. As we know how these games generally go, Lich is not too far behind as tier 2 is nearing completion. We are still looking at double crypts, and now a bunch of ghouls on the lumber line trying to clear out a bunch of these trees, perhaps stockpile some lumber before venturing out again. Cash is using this opportunity to just, get as much experience as he can on this Tauren Chieftain. It's going to be incredibly important to get level 3 as the Death Knight does his best Blade Master impersonation, picking up a potion of invisibility, and now keeping tabs on this Orc army. Favorite matchup, by the way, right now, I think my favorite matchup, for personal reasons, is Orc versus Night Elf. Watching that matchup and seeing what the players can really are really doing, and as it's trying to get fleshed out a bit more. Ooh, Death Knight picks up a Circlet of Nobility that was dropped and then used an Invul Potion in order to get away. Not quite sure if that was a real win there. Tauren, the Death Knight, I think for a moment he was thinking about death coiling the Tauren Chieftain since he had sub 150 hit points, but add in that Rune Bracers to reduce the spell damage. The Death Knight correctly thought against it, as he was nearly surrounded. One of the reasons why I like Orc versus Night Elf so much is it's still getting fleshed out. For a 20-year-old game, being surprised is a very big part of what I enjoy. And for a long time, Huntresses were not used just because, well, Raiders were there with their siege damage, very effective against Huntresses. So Huntresses, as a 1.5 unit, really got pushed out of usefulness once tier 2 was online, or once there was range. Especially against Orc, who generally just always goes for Raiders because of the utility of that ensnare. Now that the Raiders in siege damage, doesn't deal bonus damage to Huntresses, and they're both fast-moving units, I just can't predict how the battles are going to go, and players are still showing me new things, so that's what I like about it. Anyways, Death Knight Lich, level 3, level 1, both sides engaging. Tauren Chieftain going to turn back around, perhaps throw down a Stomp. We are looking at the Scroll of Speed. There's a Stomp. There's Stunning. One Ghoul going to get taken down. Nicely done by Cash. All right, purposely using the Book of the Dead in front of the undead army to try and, limit pathing. That was a great play. Would have been even better if if the Book of the Dead actually dropped 4 skeletal archers and 4 skeletal minions as it did in the past. Perhaps another unit could have ended up getting caught in all of that traffic. All right, we are at Black Citadel. We are getting up the obsidian statues and perhaps eventually destroyers. So the timing on Cash using that Book of the Dead also very much spot on. Now, we cannot forget the economic advantage that biko has here, and that should start to pay off. The tech advantage for Cash definitely showed itself there. That Stomp being able to stun the Death Knight long enough to finish him off and then catch up a lot of that experience gain that biko had and eventually take the lead. Down on the southern side, Cash does have an expansion here, but it is still about a 2,500 gold difference between the two overall. So 4 minutes of mining difference, and we know that, well, 2,000 gold can make a drastic difference on the battlefield, as Cash has, well, banked a large amount of that gold and is now paying taxes in, well, unadvisable for WarCraft 3 to be sitting at 51 or 52 supply. You are essentially killing off 2 peons would actually net you more gold than going to 52 supply, finally getting into that 59, training up some or getting up some additional orc burrows and getting up that Shadow Hunter. Now, as the Death Knight and the Lich round the corner here, we are at tier 3, but we do not see a we do see a third and final Crypt Lord as the last undead hero. I think that was the first time, like, the Torrent, excuse me, that Crypt Lord. Oh, Kagar's Pipe of Insight. Death Knight now having Brilliance Aura, that's going to help these Obsidian statues tremendously. Tauren Chieftain is at 4, Farseer is at 3, dual heroes, Shadow Hunter and Crypt Lord getting added in, and we know, well, the Crypt Lord with that Impale can stun units, and then you apply that slow effect from the Lich's Frost Nova, and then try and rinse and repeat over and over. We've also seen the Shadow Hunter often go for Hex as that ability, as we see right there, being able to Hex and, well, Stomp Lock. Father's Day, Tauren Chieftain putting his foot down to make everyone stop in their tracks. Only works on Father's Day. Well, it doesn't always work. I guess it's a Father's Day blessing. We'll see if the Tauren Chieftain is able to well, get off the necessary stun lock duration to finish off the Death Knight and the Lich, as we're looking at both sides fighting here. All right, Berserker's getting taken down quickly. Both sides fighting through. Kodo Beast, there's an Impale. Destroyer, well, gonna get taken down quickly. It got, purged by that Orb of Lightning. That's incredibly important. Normally, the Destroyers have easy times getting in and out because they don't get stunned, but that is just not the case here. Potion of Invulnerability on the Tauren Chieftain. He throws down a Stomp. We're going to see some damage there. Lich is up to level 2. Has more ways of dealing damage, as we're looking at still Destroyers taking up to the skies and then perhaps trying to... Oh, Lich gets taken down. All right, so the Hex is right there. Stomp, Lich falls at level 2. Tauren Chieftain still has an Invul potion, and the Berserkers have been able to fight its way through. Down goes a Raider. We're going to see another Crypt Fiend get taken down. 58 supply compared to 47. A Shadow Hunter gets up to level 2, and plenty of healing salves to go around for this Tauren or this Orc army to, well, perhaps give chase. One Berserker perhaps wondering, hey, where's my healing salve? I don't even think the Troll Regeneration... Yeah, it doesn't look like the Troll Regeneration research was done. That seems fairly slow overall. I wonder how much hit points, or, well, with this many trolls out here on the battlefield, and also a Shadow Hunter, I would think the Troll Regeneration research would have been, well, picked up by now. All right, there you have it. One of Cash's Berserkers finally getting up a healing salve, but it may be, well, he may still not be long for this world. Berserkers with that Berserker Frenzy, they do take bonus damage here, but able to push back biko into a corner. Tauren Chieftain, oh, somehow dodged the Impale. Is he going to throw down a Stomp here? He's trying to get lined up, and, well, finally gets a Stomp down. There's a Lich Death Coil, as both units are still starting to fight their way through. Kodo Beast has nothing in its belly. Chain Lightning bouncing around. Invul Potion now, and we see, well, the illusion on the Death Knight. So Death Knight using Wand of illusion, so we don't know which target to hex, so we don't know how to heal. Death Knight, well, Lich is still wandering away here, and we're still looking at more damage coming back across. All right, Healing Wave trying to stay alive on that Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter down to 72, 73, 39 hit points. Ghoul, oh, Shadowhunter gonna get taken out. Oh, all right, constantly fighting back and forth. We're still looking at more units, but Wand of Illusion, perhaps the big difference into this game here. We're gonna look at the skeletal minions, perhaps get taken down. Berserker trying to get taken out. Tauren Chieftain now gets up to level 5. That could be a big deal of trying to push back again. 42 supply compared to 58. Biko got a small morale victory in the death of the Shadowhunter, but is still playing a bit behind. Kodo Beast has nothing in its belly. Down goes a well, yeah, finally Berserker gets taken down there. Lich just shy of level 3, and the Crypt Lord and one Obsidian statue. More mana needs to be provided. There's a Death Coil. It's gonna it does find a Berserker, and the Berserker stays alive at 2 hit points again. 49 supply compared to 58. Cash has really not been spending all of his gold. If he spent all of his gold more, perhaps translated that economic advantage into units on the ground or upgrades in the hands of those units to be more effective, perhaps the fight would have reached a tipping or breaking point, or reached critical mass, as I used to say, in trying to close out a game. No such luck this time around, as Biko gets to level 3 on his Lich, and the Crypt Lord very much close behind here. Death Knight maybe denying level 3 on that Crypt Lord. Yeah, I believe that's going to be the case. There's a Tome of Intelligence +2. Lich has plenty, and here we go, going straight after the Obsidian statue. Is it going to try and, will it transform? No. Scroll of Town Portal saves the day once again. All right, Scroll of Town Portal, don't leave home without it. Gets you out of a lot of jams, and that's exactly what happened there. Kagar's Pipe of Insight, well, 2 of them now. No, they do not stack. Selling 1 makes a lot of sense. Lich, well, dual Circlets of Nobility, Orb of Corruption. Death Knight picking up another Scroll of Town Portal again, and, well, who's going to come out on top? That is the question. Crypt Lord still shy of level 3, and will finally get there. Death Knight, did he Death Coil the Destroyer yet? No, he should Death Coil the Destroyer. Yet? No? No? Well, Destroyer sitting at 400 hit points. If only there was a way to heal 400 hit points easily. Coming back through. Farseer sitting at 4. Tauren Chieftain sitting at 5. Perhaps going to try and clear out this creep camp. Tauren Chieftain wants no part in this fight. Needs to back away. Farseer needs all the experience here. Getting that next odd level, so important for the Farseer. And I think some of the experience was in fact lost. Both sides lining up for an important battle here. Cash down to 400 gold, up to 73 supply. And that is going to be key. Abomination, well, no Disease Cloud, so no damage over time on all of these Berserkers. Yeah, I'm still wondering when we're going to... We still don't have the improved regeneration on those Berserkers. And if we do get Disease Cloud, that is incredibly important. Oh, another Wand of Illusion used. Abominations added in, and this may well, make for some interesting predicaments. Destroyers here, well, trying to finish off all of these peons, could go after the Orc Burrow as well, but no, not going to go after the Orc Burrow. Going to turn back around. We see one ensnare onto a Crypt Fiend. Cash, is he going to try and actually engage in this battle here? There's a Impale, a bunch of, well, Berserkers off on the side. Chain Lightning bouncing around the other side. Farseer just shy of level 5 here, as the Tauren Chieftain is still pushing his way through. Is he going to get some stomps down? There is a big stomp there. The stun on the stomp lasts longer than the stun from the Impale, but not by much, as we're still both sides fighting. Tauren Chieftain in that frontline spot, able to impale, or able to stomp. Well, Crypt Lord able to impale, so who's going to actually win out? There is another stomp again are we going to follow it up with another Impale? There's a Chain Lightning, there's another Impale, but the Impales don't seem to be getting as much units constantly taken out. 51 supply compared to 65 as the Lich gets a boat, or, well, a Hail Mary heal, and we see another Stomp go down. All right, a bunch of low hit point Crypt Fiends. Kodo Beasts are not chomping down on anything. This is a big surprise here. That is a lot of damage that could have been mitigated if the Kodo Beasts just tried to grab a snack. Abomination can get taken down, and I believe that will be the game, especially with the Death Knight. Well, no, Death Knight not going to get stomped down there. Well, all three heroes are extremely low on hit points. We see the Farseer buying an Invul Potion. Yes, does buy it in time, and now the Death Knight is going to be in trouble. Cash being able to, well, outlast his opponent in a 20-minute game. This was a relatively short game for the amount of lead changes that we saw. No, both sides clearly had an advantage throughout this game, and both sides kind of gave it up only to let the other person get back into it. That was a great game. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below.